This 19th Sunday in Ordinary Time, we continue our journey through the Bread of Life discourse in John's Gospel. There was a story of this ancient Chinese emperor by the name of Qin. Qin was the emperor who built the Great Wall of China. Extending over 2,000 miles, the Great Wall is the only man-made structure on Earth that the astronaut could identify from outer space. According to National Geographic magazine, Emperor Qin had a great fear of dying. One day, his magician told him about an island paradise in the Eastern Sea. Its inhabitants had discovered the secret to eternal life. Qin loaded several ships with priceless gifts and dispatched them to the island inhabitants, hoping to trade the gift for their secret. Reportedly, the ships found the island, but the inhabitants wouldn't exchange their secret for such poor gift. What is the point of the story? What is the connection with this story to today's scriptures reading, especially the gospel? The point is that from the beginning of time, people had dreamed about never dying. They have dreamed about living forever. They have dreamed about eternal life. With each death of a loved one, that dream became more and more an obsession with people. And so, when Jesus showed up in Palestine and began talking about eternal life, began talking about the bread of life that came down from heaven, people flocked to hear what he had to say. But this is the thing. Many of them did not believe in Jesus. They complained. They asked, how can he have come down from heaven when they know his father Joseph and his mother Mary? Many did not believe because they were not listening to what Jesus was revealing to them. It is the same in our times. It is the same today. There are some who do not hear the teaching of the Holy Catholic Church simply because they are not listening. They are placing all their energies toward challenging every word, every authority, every doctrine, and we can go on and on and on. We must remember that at times it is necessary to remain silent and to listen, allowing the grace of God to enlighten our heart so we can see the light in the spirit of truth. In today's gospel, Jesus reminds us once again that he is the living bread that came down from heaven. Also remind us whoever eats this bread will live forever. Live forever. You see? Our fear of death doesn't have to get the best of us, doesn't have to dominate our thought, doesn't have to result in worry that matter who we are. We can become, or who we can become. No, our fear of death can be drawn in true and lasting hope. This is the key. Hope in the promises of Christ. Hope in his great love for us. Hope in his saving act on behalf of the whole world, and hope in the power of his triumphant resurrection, his victory over death itself. What we might not always remember is that Jesus didn't just destroy physical death. He destroyed death in all its terms. In the sorrows we experience, the hurt we feel, the disappointments we endure, the pain we suffer, even the sin we chose to embrace, none of that ultimately wins. God wins. Jesus is the bread through which we are able to live forever, not simply in the future, but now, this day. In whatever that you are currently experiencing, God can and will raise us up to live more, to love more, and to be more. That's true Christian's hope. In the first reading, Elijah is ready to throw in the towel, sort of to speak. Being a prophet evidently wasn't exactly working as he planned. He's running for his life from an angry queen, Jezebel. And he's probably wondering if he has made any sort of difference at all. In Elijah's estimation, life has simply become much too difficult, too disappointing, too frustrating, too uncertain, and too dangerous. Many people in every time and place have felt that same way at one point or another. He was thinking about dying. He said to his Lord, I'm not better than my fathers. Take my life. Maybe you are feeling that way right now. Maybe you're feeling the same way at one point or another. And we all of us go through that. And what God's do for him? He feeds him. He feeds him. Provide him with exactly what he needs in that moment and raising him from his slumber to continue the journey. He feeds him. And then with the strength of the bread he received, then he had the strength, the power to continue the journey. The journey is going to be too long if you don't drink and eat. He then, with the strength, he walked 40 days and 40 nights. You know that in biblical terms, that's the long time of the period in which, I've been struggling with this word, trying to translate it properly, and I came up like the time of endurance in which we have to go through a period of tribulation in order to go in the presence of God. And I need to find the right word, but it's the time, that long time, 40 days in which God is at work also in our life. 40 days in which we feel like we have not accomplished much, that we have tried so many times and everything is not changing. But God is there working in our life. So is this, that with the strength and walking for 40 days and nights, then he came to the Mount of God, Mount Sinai, Mount Horeb. And then he comes to the presence of the Lord, which will guide him in the purpose of his life. And not just came there, but then he returns, to the place he was trying to escape, to complete the work that the Lord has given him. This is the bread of life, and that's what Jesus said to us. I am the bread of life. I am the bread of life. He is our strength in our journey. As he did with Elijah, he will do for us. That's the kind of transformation that is possible within us each time we allow the Lord, the bread of life, feed us and help make us more today than we were yesterday. And so, as we strive to put aside our fears and thereby live our life hoping and trusting that God will raise us up in the last day. Let's not forget to allow Him to do that very same thing for us each and every day, lifting us up from whatever is weighing us down, holding us back, breaking or dampening our spirit. God gave Himself for the life of the world, the life each of us is immersed in at this very moment. May we always have the wisdom to allow God to satisfy our needs by feeding us in a way that only He can. And may we rise up to the new life in Him, bringing that same care, concern, and love to those around us. May the Lord bless us all in the week ahead.